Okay, in this video you will learn how the web works, HTML code structure, and HTML basic tags. So let's get started. Let's say there's a user and the user is trying to access a website using a web browser. We have all seen web browsers. You're probably using one right now to watch this video, like Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. So what does a web browser do? Well, web browser sends a request to a server. Think of server as a place where we have all the files, and whenever we need a new file we make a request to the server and server sends us a response. Now this response is displayed on the web browser, and this response is nothing but our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now what is HTML? Well, HTML is the page layout. It contains all the elements that are being displayed on the page, and CSS is adding style to those elements so that they are more readable and good to look at. And JavaScript is adding logic, or you can say functionality, to those elements so that our web page is functional. Now let's go to VS Code to see our first HTML document. When you open VS Code, you will see a welcome page like this. Before adding a folder, let's install some extensions. If you click this section, you will see all the extensions. I have already opened the extensions that we would need. So let's install all these extensions: live server, highlight matching tag, HTML CSS support, prettier, code formatter, and auto rename tag. I use all these extensions, so they are helpful. Now we want to add a folder here so that we can create files and write code into those files. So there are multiple ways to open a folder. What I do is I create a folder and then I drag it and drop it in the VS Code, and this is how the folder gets opened. From here we can create a new file. Let's call it index.html. Before we start writing here, let me tell you the structure of a HTML page. First, we declare that the document is of type HTML. For that, we write doc type HTML. After that, we have HTML tag. It contains two tags. One would be head and another one would be body. Now for each tag, there is a closing tag. So if we write like this, that means this is a closing tag for HTML tag. And similarly, the head and body will also have closing tags. There are some self-closing tags too, but we will see them later. Now, what does the head contains? It contains metadata, title, links to our CSS, and body. Body contains all the things that we will display. So we will see it later. Now, if we go back to VS Code and if we write this, VS Code will show us the options, and if we press enter, it will fill out the boilerplate code for us. As you can see, everything I mentioned is here. From here we can change the title, and here if we write something, it will be displayed on the web page. And this circle, it shows that the file is not saved. If we hit Ctrl S, that circle will be gone. That means our file is now saved. Now to see this in a web browser, all you have to do is go live from here. and you might see something like this. Click allow, and as you can see, the page is live now. You can see the title, and there is nothing on this page because we wrote nothing. So if we write something here, we write hello and press save, we should see hello. Now let's say I write my first page here and hit Control S and go back to the browser. You can see the title is now changed. Now let's learn about some tags that we can write here in the body tag, inside the body tag. So the first ones are H1 to H6. These are different kinds of headings, from largest being H1 to smallest being H6. Let's write them in VS Code. I have GitHub Copilot, so I am seeing this suggestion, but you have to write it manually. It is good for practice. If I hit save and go back to the browser, I will see different headings. As you can see, the difference in sizes of all the headings. Now let's see the paragraph tag, which is denoted as P. It is also a text tag, but it is different from heading tags. You will see the difference. If I go and write P, and you can see there's a closing tag too for all of them. And if I hit lorem and type, let's say 100, and press enter, a VS Code will fill out this text for us. And if I hit Control S and go back to the browser, there is a paragraph being displayed. You can see the difference between heading and the paragraph. Now let's see the list tags. Uh, there are two type of lists, ordered and unordered. So ordered list is denoted with OL tag. It also has a closing tag, and inside this there will be list items, multiple of them, and they will be displayed orderly. That means numbered 1, 2, 3, and there will be items. And for unordered, we denoted by UL and a closing tag, and it will also contain these items, and they will be displayed like this. There is no order. So let's go back to VS Code and see how they work. This is an unordered list with 4 items. And this is an ordered list with 4 items. Let's press Ctrl S and go back to the browser. You can see uh, 2 different types of lists. Okay, so the next step is the anchor tag. But what does an anchor tag do? Well, it is a link, and when we click on it, we will be guided to another web page. So how do we write it? Well, for that we need to learn something called HTML attributes. Attributes are the things, we can call them properties, that we write inside the HTML tags to make them function properly. So for the anchor tag, we have 2 attributes. Href, it is the link where we want to go, and there is another tag called target, and I will show you why we need it. There are another attributes, but these are the ones that we will use. So let's go back to VS Code and let's write our anchor tag here. Uh, I will let Copilot help me. As you can see, this is the href attribute, and it will take us to google.com, and this is the corresponding text that will be displayed. So if I hit Control S and go back to the browser, you can see there is a link, and if I click on this link, I will be taken to Google. But you can see that I am on the same tab, and my web page is here. I don't want that. I want the link to open in a new page, in a new tab. So what I will do is use another attribute. It's called target, and I will set it to underscore blank. What it does is when I click on it, a new tab will open, and you can see it here. Okay, so next up is the image tag. It is written as img, and it is a self-closing tag. We don't have to write img. This will do. For this, we need uh, two attributes, mainly two attributes. The first is src, and it will tell the location of the image in the directory or from the browser. It can be a link. And another one is alt. It is the alternate text that will be displayed if there's a problem with image. So let's go to VS Code. I've already added an image, and I will now use the img tag to display that image. So for that, we have to write src, and to write its location, I will write dot slash and simple dot jpg. And if I hit Control S and go back to the browser, I can see the image is there, but it is too large. For that, I can write width and set it to something like 200 pixels, and height and set it to like 300 pixels, so that I don't mess up the ratio. And I forgot to add the alt text. Let's say sample image. It will be displayed if there's a problem with this image. Hit Control S, go back. You can see the image is being displayed and the size is much smaller now. So these were the basic tags. There are more tags that we will use, but we will learn them in the future when we need them.